Hello everyone. Today we're going to be looking at qualitative research or qualitative data versus quantitative research or quantitative data. I apologize if my voice cracks or if I cough or something. I'm sick, but the show must go on. Okay, qualitative research. What is qualitative research? Qualitative research is an investigative research that is done without assigning numbers. So qualitative research doesn't deal with any numbers at all. It doesn't deal with mathematical equations or finding how much or how little of something. Qualitative research also looks at variables in their natural state versus a controlled environment like a laboratory. Qualitative research is also subjective. There are four main terms in qualitative research. That's holistic description, corroboration, triangulation, and participant observation. With holistic, qualitative research really has a holistic approach. It looks at the bigger picture or the overall picture of what's going on in the research or the study. Corroboration, it deals with more than one source. So more than one source is used to research or study or look at what is being observed in qualitative research. Triangulation is where research is done from more than one angle. Actually, research is done from three angles to provide more of an accuracy or more of a clearer picture of the research that is being done. And with participant observation, there are 5 different types of participant observation. It ranges from external, passive, balanced, active, and total. In qualitative, when I think about qualitative research versus quantitative research, I think about quality versus quantity. Quality, you're looking at more in-depth or more comprehensive look at something, versus in quantitative, you're looking at the quantity or how much or a numerical value to something. So going back to qualitative research and participant observation, there are 5 different types, as I stated, and the first type is external participant observation. External participant observation, the best way to describe it would be as if there were a classroom with preschool students, and me being an observer, I would be standing outside the classroom looking through a window and observing the preschoolers as they interact with one another. That's to me, that's the most simplest way to explain external participation. Well, our external participant observation would be kind of the outsider point of view, would be you as an outsider looking in to something. Passive participant observation would be as if I'm using the same preschool classroom, but instead of being outside of the room looking in, I would be inside of the classroom, but I still would just be an observer. I would just be sitting there observing children interacting. I would have no interaction, no dialogue with the children. I would just merely be an observer, but just from inside of the room. Balanced participation will be kind of a balance between external and passive, a balance from outsider and a balance from the insider point of view. Active research. In active research, the researcher is doing whatever is taking place in the study or in the research. So whatever they're doing, the researcher is doing as well. And total participation is where the researcher is actually a natural participant in the study. So I would be a natural participant in the study. That would constitute as total participant observation. One of the big questions about qualitative research is why. What's the goal? What's the purpose of qualitative research? Well, qualitative research is done when you don't really have a clear picture of what you're looking for or what you're trying to get at. In qualitative research, it's more of an exploratory research. You're kind of just going out there and exploring versus going out there with a specific objective of looking at something and gathering data for one thing or another. Qualitative research, it gives you more depth of understanding. It studies the why versus the how much. It studies the why and the how of a research study versus how much or how little. And let's move to quantitative research. Quantitative research is an investigation done by using math and numbers. So quantity deals with numbers. You automatically think about numbers when you're dealing with quantity or quantitative research or data. Quantitative research is discrete. It can either be discrete or continuous. Researchers ask questions that are based around numbers. So the basis of quantitative research is numbers. It's very objective, and researchers know exactly what they're looking for before the research is conducted. So with quantitative research, it's not exploratory. You know exactly what you're looking for. You just having to find that numerical value to put on something. That is what constitutes as quantitative research. Some of the terms that deal with quantitative research is that quantitative research, it can be experimental, or where it compares more than one thing, and they have a start point and an ending point. And in the research, you're just seeing the effects of the two. Another key term in quantitative research is correlation, or correlative research, or how things relate to each other. Another one is descriptive, where it's more of a survey. And in survey quantitative research, you may include comparative between groups. So there may be a comparison or an experimental where you're seeing the effects between two groups. And in quantitative research, the researcher is independent of the research or the study. So me as the researcher, I am independent. I have no cause, effect, or any type of effect on the research or the study that's being taken place. I have no emotional bearing, no physical, any type of bearing on the research that is being done. It's strictly the research and strictly just gathering the data. Another thing about quantitative research is that quantitative research cannot tell you how to fix problems. It only tells you that there is a problem. So with quantitative research, it can only tell me that something is there, but it can't give me a solution to it. In comparing the two, quantitative versus qualitative, when it comes to occurrences, quantitative data can only tell me the level of occurrence, or how many times or how often something occurs. A qualitative research can tell me the depth and get to the depth of the understanding and the more complex understanding of the research. Quantitative research asks how many or how much or how little of something, while qualitative research asks why or how something occurs. Quantitative research studies events and the occurrence of events. Qualitative research, it studies why events occur or the motivation behind events. Qualitative research is subjective, while quantitative is objective. Qualitative research it's exploratory, so it enables discovery. So you can go in with qualitative research not really having a clear picture of what exactly you're looking for, but that's the basis of qualitative research. You don't really have to know before you go in what exactly you're looking for, because it's more exploratory, versus quantitative research where you need to know what you're looking for and everything before you go and do the research. It's just a matter of finding the numbers to correlate with what you're looking for, or your hypotheses. Quantitative research is more definitive, while qualitative research is exploratory and it's done in nature. Quantitative research describes something. It describes how much of something or how little of something, while qualitative research, it interprets. So in qualitative research, there's a research study that's going on, and qualitative research can tell me how something is occurring or what's the motivation behind it, and it can interpret what is going on or what is being taken place. When quantitative research is just merely about numbers and attaching numbers to certain things. So I hope that wasn't too confusing. A good way to separate quantitative versus qualitative research and data is using the terms quality versus quantity. Quantity being merely about numbers, how much of something, how little of something, or versus looking at something in the quality aspect, you're looking at the holistic picture, like the different attributes or aspects of it that make up the big picture of it all, not using numbers, but just a clearer understanding of background and why and how something occurs. So I hope that you've enjoyed this. And again, I apologize for my little raspy voice. And so I hope everyone has a wonderful day.